All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us in today's Winners Wednesday episode. I'm super excited today to have a very special guest, Mr. Tony Jor. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Micah. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you. The pleasure's all mine. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing just great. Thank you so much for asking.
That's awesome. Well, I'm really excited today because, if you've got a great story. You're very authentic. We've known each other for a few years now and have been working together short of a year. And so, really excited today to share your story. With that said, do you mind just kind of giving us a brief introduction about yourself and your background and how you got into real estate?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, I moved here to Tulsa just very briefly. I'm from Lebanon. I grew up. I was born and raised in Lebanon. Moved here to the States in 2000 to California.
Wow.
2009, when we lost everything in California because of the recession, I came to Tulsa and I started driving a cab. So business was good until 2000. From 2009 to 2016, business was good. Uber started. I couldn't make any money anymore. Like the taxi business was going down. The only option I had to make a good living, as I've heard, it was real estate because I had no education. I couldn't find a job at Microsoft, and so I had only one option. So I tried to get my real estate license. I thought it was going to be easy. It took me 6 attempts to get my license, and finally got it. And now what? What am I going to do? How do I make a living? So because I didn't have, I believe my success is because, if you call it success, it's because I didn't have anywhere else to go. So I burned my bridges. I had to feed the kids. So I started working and I couldn't back up. And I mean, in this business, all you have to do is just to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's gonna pay off. I promise you. And that's what happened. So I sold 27 properties on my first year.
Wow.
Got the Rising Star Reward.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. The only mistake I made when in real estate is I didn't join the XP when I first started. So
Oh, it's okay. You're here now, so we're all good, right?
yes.
So what made you choose Tulsa out of all markets? So Lebanon to California, and then to Tulsa. What made you choose Tulsa, Oklahoma, in the Midwest?
I had a very close friend of mine who I met him in California, and he didn't make it in California back in 2004. So he came back to Tulsa. We stayed connected, and so he knew that I lost everything in California. I mean, I was like very, very in a bad situation, financial situation. So he called me and he's like, "Why don't you come drive a cab in Tulsa?" I thought he was crazy first, but I thought I'd come and visit for a weekend, and I never went back. That was 13 years ago.
Wow. And what's interesting about that is how that probably led up to your real estate career. I mean, driving a cab, I would imagine you met a lot of people and got to know the city pretty quickly.
Absolutely, yes, you're right.
So, and I like one of the things that I would really want to highlight here, and I think this is always very important as an entrepreneur. You mentioned burn the bridges, but we always like to say the phrase burn the boats. So, if you want to get off the island and you're serious about getting off an island, you have to burn the boats, right? Otherwise, you're going to have this crutch and you're never going to get off. And so it sounds like that's what you did. I mean, you just left your job as a cab driver. You went all into an industry that you're not familiar with, right? Real estate.
At
And
all.
then on top of that, you got the Rising Star Award and 27 homes sold in your first year, which, by the way, if you guys aren't watching that, that's not normal to sell 27 homes in your first year. That's absolutely incredible. So, with
Well,
that said, Tony, I mean, what would you say has been the key to your success?
again, Mike, I mean, but when you sent me an email, I replied back, if I could do it, I have absolutely no doubt that anybody can. And Gary Keller once said, I mean, when I was at Keller Williams, and something caught my mind. He said, anybody can do it, but not everybody's willing to do it. So, and I totally believe in that. I had no education. I dropped out of school. I was like, oh, my fifth grade probably or something. But I didn't have any other option. So the reason my success was, the only thing for free it was available for me is calling for sale by owners. I'm going to be honest with you, and I hated it.
Right.
But out of 27 transactions, there was like 14 or 15 of them, they were for sale by owners.
Really? No.
Yeah, and the business is going to come in. You go to the office at 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't care what you do. In my opinion, watching YouTube videos, Tom Ferry, anything, any videos, anything that can help you out, giving you an idea what to do about real estate. You put in the hours, you're gonna get your checks coming in at the end. It doesn't, maybe in 2 months, maybe in 6 months, maybe next week. I don't know, but it's just what do you call it? Like determination.
Right, right. Well, it
Yeah,
sounds like, and not just putting in the hours, because I think a lot of real estate agents put in the hours, but it's not productive hours, right? And it sounds like you were very intentional in learning your market, calling for sale by owners, which, like you said, you hate them. Most real estate agents hate doing that, but you knew that that was important to get your business. And then also, learning. I think a lot of times success starts with, our mind and learning first. So that's really important for those that are watching this, that those three things that you did, I think, are really what led to your success. So you started out, I'm assuming, as a single agent, and
that's
then now you've slowly transitioned as a team. What does that transition look like?
well. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got very excited on my second year, and I started my team, and it was a failure. I thought, you go buy some Zillow leads, or you give them away to your agents, and they start bringing the money in, and that wasn't the case. There's a lot of follow up involved, and not everybody follows up. And I let go. I went bankrupt again. So I started going solo again until like last year, and I hired transaction coordinator, which is great, Kate Kane. She's been helping me out a lot, and another showing agent, and so I can keep the business coming.
That's
To answer your question, I kind of lost you a little bit. I'm sorry.
No, and I appreciate the transparency, because I think a lot of times we think that we're going to build a team. It's this magic pill. So I appreciate you saying, like, hey, I did it. I failed, right? Because we all fail at things, and then I learned from that, and I did it again. So what I'm hearing is you've now hired the transaction coordinator, and she's leveraging your time to be able to get your time back. So what are you doing today to continue building your business after being in the real estate industry for a while?
You know what? I'm still learning, and I think I'm going to be learning for the rest of my life. I mean, this is real estate. That's what I love about it. Every single day, there's something new going on. So I decided to hire a showing agent right now. I'm looking for a showing agent, and so there's a lot of sources of business. I mean, there's a lot of business out there. It's like, and I'm going to be honest with you. There's not a lot of competition. People, they think, oh my goodness, there's 8,000 agents in Tulsa.
Right.
There's
Half of them
there
probably aren't selling, right?
Yeah. So there's not a lot of business going on here. I mean, there's a lot of business going on here, but the problem is that you call 20 agents, one of them is going to answer the phone, and after
Right.
that, they complain there's no work, there's no business. People, they are in a transact and like in the market looking to buy a house. For they have a lot of questions that needs to be answered. They get frustrated. They have a lot of stress. So the key, in my opinion, is just answering the phone whenever you can. Don't
Yeah.
let it sit there, because people can't wait, and there's some other agents waiting. A lot of other agents waiting to get that business from you.
I couldn't agree more. I think communication is key. And I would add on to that, one of my biggest pet peeves is a full voicemail box. That's just when you hear, you can't leave a voicemail because it's full. I'm like, come on, guys.
Absolutely,
Empty it
absolutely.
every single day. So that's interesting, and I really appreciate you sharing that. Now, Tony, I know that now you're here with EXP, as you mentioned before, and we talked to you several years ago, and you've been highly successful at the previous real estate brokerages that you've been with. What made you make a change over to EXP?
Uh, um, a lot of things. I mean, everything pretty much. The the reason I didn't make that move from the beginning, because it freaked me out, the fact that it's a cloud brokerage. Like, there's no office to walk into, there's no broker to knock on his door, whatever. But all that is in that EXP world. It's just a click of a button, and if you don't know where to go, you just ask anybody in that like out there, and you tell them, hey, how do I get there? And they're gonna give you an answer. You guys are there. So that scared me because that's not the typical traditional brokerage that we're used to.
Right.
Now, I made that move because a lot of people made that move that happened that they're very successful, big team leaders, and they were friends of mine. And I was having conversations with them, and I was like, you know what? I mean, it's worth it. The If you're paying $16,000 commission, and you have the opportunity to close after that a certain amount of transactions and get that money back, not only back in your stocks, that stock is going to grow within 5 to 10 years. So that 16,000 might come up to $250,000. I mean, you never know.
Right.
Um, and it's Now I found out that I made a better, like a move better than what I thought. It's because once I capped at Keller Williams, for example, I used to relax, sit back and relax. Oh, okay, now I'm getting the 100% commission. Now I'm pushing even forward more because I want that 16,000 to get back. I want that back to me. And I'm making more business. When you're closing 20 transactions, you're not closing these 20 extra transactions for free. You're making money out of them, but that what do you call it, that goal that exp is setting up for you, after you cap, you have a chance to get your money back. That's even helping you out more in your business, your motivation.
Well, Tony, I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, you really brought a great point that at a lot of real estate brokerages, like you said, you cap, you pay in your company dollar, and then you kind of take your foot off the pedal a little bit. And you're not really incentivized to do a lot more other than being maybe at 100%, right? But I think the
Absolutely.
key, what you're referring to, for those of you that don't know, and Tony and I were talking offline about this, is he's very close to becoming an icon agent. And so what that is capping with EXP at a $16,000 company dollar cap. And then as a single agent doing 20 transactions. Now, what really happens that's important here is you have the chance to earn your $16,000 back in company stock. Now, as Tony mentioned, stock's going to go up and down. We don't know where it's going. I've been with EXP for 7.5 years, so I've definitely seen the trends. But with that said, Tony, I mean, I'm assuming at Keller Williams, you didn't get any stock for capping all those years, right?
Yeah, I mean, do you mind if I throw in three more points about that? This is very important.
Not at all. Go ahead. It's your show.
So the cap, if there is a cap, which I believe only Keller Williams has a cap, like one of like the bigger, like the largest brokerages out there, you cap at 21,000, and that's it. I mean, they got the money. You're good to go. EXP is giving you back that money, so that's not money that has gone already. It's going to cut back to you if you succeed of completing these 20 transactions. Now, that's one point, which is great. The second thing is, again, the most important thing, it's not that $16,000 that you're getting back. It's the motivation to triple your business, because you're not going to be sitting and relaxing. Okay, now I cap 100% is going to pay my rent or whatever, my mortgage or whatever. So you know what I'm saying? And the third most important thing is, that $16,000 is a loss anyways. If you throw it in the stocks and you close and you just keep doing what you're doing, 15, 20 years from now, that stock that's worth $13 right now, it might be $150 to $200 10 years from now. So you might be a multi-millionaire before you even know it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to destroy you. I believe, in my opinion, I'm not exaggerating. I believe that you're throwing away your kids' future, your future, if you do not take advantage of this platform and this brokerage.
Amen. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
And what's interesting, like you said, you're doing the same thing that you did at your previous brokerage. Now
absolutely.
you're incentivized to do more because you're going to get money and ownership back in your brokerage, which, hopefully continues to increase. Personally, I've seen it go from 21 cents a share when I started up to the three digits. So, and I know agents that have made millions of dollars, including myself, through the stock ownership. So again, it's going to go up and down. We're not making any kind of stock projections here. But
Yeah,
I think, Tony, you bring a great point. It's by doing what you were already doing, right? You're not changing your business. You didn't change your business model. You're just hanging a different sign, and now you get a stock award instead of maybe just the Rising Star Award, the plaque at the end of the year. Now you get stock, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the support you get right here with a click of a button, which I was totally against before I moved in with the XP. I was like, no, I need to knock on somebody's door. It's a lot of support, more than you can even imagine. You have over 1,000 people. I mean, I don't know how many people, but a lot of people helping you out with a click of a button when you're sitting in your PJs behind your desk, doing what you're doing. And you feel like you're looking at them, you're seeing them, they're seeing you, but and it's just an avatar that's representing you. It's amazing. I mean, I it couldn't have been done any better than that.
Yeah, no, and I love that you mentioned that because there are some kind of copycat, if you will, for lack of a better word, cloud brokerages that are starting to come to fruition. But one thing that they don't have is the metaverse, the cloud brokerage that we have, because we own that software. We as EXP World Holdings owns Verbella, which is the software that powers our cloud office, the metaverse. And so I think that's really a big missing puzzle that a lot of these kind of copycat cloud brokerages, if you will, are starting to create. So with that said, Tony, we know that your goal in your first year with EXP is to become an icon agent. Where are we going to see Tony in the next few years? What are some of your big plans and your goals?
I'm going to be honest with you. I love what I'm doing. I have a lot of opportunities out there. Get your broker's license, put you as an assistant broker, because they always see me at the office at the other brokerages. I love what I do. I love showing houses, selling houses, helping people out. I mean, it's literally I had a dream before that I wanted to open my own brokerage. Now with what I have in here, I have my own brokerage right here in front of me on that screen. I don't need to worry about anything. So I want to keep doing what I'm doing. My goal is to keep investing in these stocks, um, helping people out, mentoring people, changing people's life the way I changed my life was changed. And again, for anybody out there who are questioning themselves, okay, is that something that I should have done? Is it something, is it for me? I mean, it is for everybody. I mean, if you're willing, if you can see that little light at the end of the tunnel, which I didn't see, by the way, but I didn't have a choice to go back. I had to go, or I'm gonna end up on the streets with my kids.
Right.
If you can see that light, you're gonna make it. I guarantee you. And if you need any kind of advice, please contact me, text me, email me. You can find me on Facebook. Mike has got my information. Everybody, I would love to help anybody. By the way, one more thing I would like to say before we're running out of time. Do not just shred your license right now because you heard me saying I succeeded with for sale by owners. There's so many other sources you can do without even prospecting. You can go market on your Facebook. You can send emails. You can text. You can farm. You can hold open houses. If you hold just open houses, you don't do anything else. You hold 2 open houses a week. I can guarantee you 30 transactions at the end of the year.
Right.
Just the key is the follow up. No matter what you do, just follow up. These two things: do something and follow up, and that's it.
I love that. And that really leads me to my next question here for you, Tony. For agents that are watching this, whether live or on YouTube or one of our repeat channels, if they want to partner with you at EXP and really learn what you've done and kind of be guided by your mentorship, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Would you like me to give my information right now?
If you're open to it.
Absolutely. I can give you my email address. My name is right there, Tony Jor, and you add to it at gmail.com. So it's tonyjor at gmail.com. And if you want to text me, you're more than welcome to text me. My cell phone number is 918-707-0277. I'm happy to, if I could change your life, that would be the biggest blessing I've ever done, I've ever had. So, and there's a lot of people who succeeded. They're much better than I am in real estate. I mean, I'm nothing comparing to others. It's just my story is a little bit more unique, probably because I came out of nowhere, like cab driver, whatever. But if I can do anything to help you see that light, that would be a blessing to me.
Well, I appreciate that. And Tony, I think you've got an amazing story. I think all the way from Lebanon to California to Tulsa, Oklahoma, being a cab driver, burning the boats and going all into real estate, not only going in, but being the rising star with 27 transactions in your first year. So I think that's amazing. It's an incredible story. You're a great agent. You're a great person. I know you're a big family man. So I know we're incredibly blessed to be in business with you, and we appreciate you for doing this today.
Oh, thank you so much. Just for the record, I'm not that great. I was just a hungry, starved person that seeing his kids going, broke, and I had to do something about it. That's the only secret I had. I don't have any extra, special powers or anything like that. So,
well, your special powers is your heart, right? You cared for your
absolutely.
Sometimes I know for us too, you have to go to the bottom in order to work your way up, and sometimes if you're not there, then you don't know and you don't work your way up. So Rebecca, I see that you're watching us. Thank you so much for watching, Rebecca.
Oh, shout out to Rebecca. She's been a great help. Without her, I mean, I would have had a lot of problems. She's been there for me 7 days a week. So
she's amazing. She's actually the broker at the branch office there in Tulsa. So if you're an agent, whether you're in Tulsa or anywhere in the country, as a matter of fact, anywhere in the world, we're in 22 countries, and you'd like to learn from Tony, I highly recommend you reach out to him. He's an incredible agent, a great partner. And so, Tony, I really appreciate your time, and thank you so much for doing this for us today.
thank you so much for having me, Micah. And thank you for everything you've done, you and Himoudi, for me and bringing me over to this great company. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. The pleasure's all ours.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
All right. Thanks.